You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.tecntv.com. Hey, good day to you all. Welcome to Permanent Associates. I'm your host, Randy Perm. Hey, today, I hope y'all had a great weekend, first off. But if you didn't, it's okay. Life goes on, and you'll be all right. But hey, today we got a very special guest with us, and I'm excited to talk to her because, like I told you all on Friday, that I was going to be having a very special guest with us. And I know a lot of people are going to be excited about this one because we have one of President Trump's attorneys with us today, Christina Bobb. And without further ado, she is the author of Stealing Your Vote Inside the Story of the 2020 Election and What It Means for 2024. She is also an investigative reporter, an attorney, and former television show host and correspondent with One America News Network, where she reported almost exclusively on election integrity. Christina began her legal career in the United States Marine Corps, hoorah, serving as a defense counsel representing Marines and sailors in court martial and administrative separation hearings. She served in multiple overseas tours, including Helmand Province, Afghanistan, and Stuttgart, Germany. After her military service, Ms. Bob transitioned to private practice at Higgs, Fletcher, and Mack LLP in San Diego, and then to Washington, D.C., where she held executive level positions within the Department of Homeland Security. Christina currently serves as an attorney for President Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, present to some and introduce to the others, Miss Christina Bobb.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, thank you for joining me, Christina. Stuttgart, Germany, huh? It's one of my old stomping
Yeah.
grounds. It's one of my old stomping grounds there.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding. Were you stationed out there?
No, I wasn't stationed there, but you familiar with the VFW, Veteran Foreign Wars?
Yeah, yeah, of
I was,
course.
I was the district commander, so I had Stuttgart as one of my posts under my command there, just in
Okay, cool.
2020. Yeah, I used to go there all the time. I was stationed in Hanau, right outside of Frankfurt, back in
Oh, okay, yeah. So
back in the
not too
day.
far.
Yeah, back in the
Yeah.
day. Yes, yes, it was good stuff. Good stuff. I had great times there.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, of all the places you can get stationed, I think, at least for the Marine Corps, that's probably one of the best places you can
True,
go.
true. The
Yeah.
Marines are not wasn't really seeing Marines wasn't a thing in Germany
Right.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marines, we like to pick the worst places and stay there for a while.
true. I know. I worked with a few Marines down in when I was working in NATO from
Hmm.
2017 to 2020 down in Naples, Italy, and a lot of them
Oh,
were
that's nice.
like outside of their box. They were just like, I don't know if I can get used to this, but it
Like
was
I never want to go back to my real job again.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, do you miss being in the Marines, or are you happy that you got out in the nick of time?
I'm happy I got out in the nick of time, but I'll be honest, one of the things that I loved about my service, and you probably feel the same way, is feeling like I'm serving my country and doing something
Yeah.
for the country that I love.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm doing that now. Obviously, it's not in a military capacity, but
Right. Right.
I still feel like I'm fighting for the same values. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I miss it, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yep. I'm the same way. I retired in 2020. Right. Like battling with the
You
COVID
made
stuff.
it. You just made it.
Yeah. Yes. It was like it was interesting. And
I can
Italy,
only imagine.
they did not want they didn't want to let me go. They was like, no,
Oh,
there's a pandemic going on. There was no flights going
right.
back to the U.S. Y'all better figure it out. And a few weeks later, I got my
Yeah.
plane tickets. So
Good for
I was
you.
out of there. Yeah, they didn't want no trouble. They didn't want no smoke on my end. So,
Yep.
but I know you're super duper busy dealing with all these legal battles with President Trump and going around like the Eastern Seaboard. It seems like dealing with these different these different ridiculous lawsuit
Yeah.
indictments and everything else. Can you give us a an update outside of what the media has been telling us because we can't trust the media anymore? Can you give us an
Right.
update as to what's going on and what's to come without compromising anything, of course?
Yeah. Well, I would love to. I don't actually know. I mean, I think the public is seeing, probably for the first time in a long time, what's happening just for what it is. In my opinion, it's political persecution. I don't think
Mm,
that these charges should have ever been brought. I don't think they'll withstand scrutiny by the Supreme Court. Certainly not Jack Smith's case. Who knows what's going to happen in Georgia and in New York. I'm not involved in the New York case, so I don't really have much information on that. But
okay.
it's just it's really a shame to see what they're doing. The fact that all of these cases are being brought at the exact same time, I think it demonstrates that it is in an intent to interfere in the 2024 election. And I think the American people are seeing it for exactly what it is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I'm glad you mentioned Jack Smith's and the indictments that he brought. I I'm wondering like what was the conversation in the room like with you guys when the indictments came down and you're like these are like Civil War era unrelated Enron related charges like what is the defense looking like in terms of like okay are we gonna really try to battle this or are we just gonna let this fall apart in the courtroom and let it play out like
Oh,
how's
it's
that
going to
working?
be a battle, no doubt. I have no
Good,
doubt that Jack
good.
Smith intends to try to destroy Donald Trump. He knows it's not going to withstand scrutiny, but he's got a favorable venue in Washington D.C. and he's
Yeah.
hoping to jam this through and deprive the rest of the nation their right to elect the leader of their choice.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about justice; it's about political assassination. Trying to destroy or kill somebody's political career. That's what this is. So, um, I, that's
It's
what it is. But we're absolutely going to fight every step of the way.
that's good. That's good to hear. I know the American people in my list, my audience, they're like 100% behind President Trump, and I am too. On behalf of the network here at TCN.TV, we want to give the president our best wishes and best of luck, and hope that all this stuff dissolves in a matter of time because we all everyone sees it, everyone knows it. Even though some of my friends that's on the left they even see it but they don't want to admit it, they don't want to openly admit because then they know that they're going to get into being castigated amongst their friends and they
Yeah.
just say well Trump did something. It's like
Right. Well, obviously, if you accuse somebody of something, you're obviously guilty of something.
right,
Yeah.
exactly, and they don't want to look at they don't want to look at what the Biden administration or Biden himself and his crime family has been doing. Everyone is ignoring that. It's like okay, if
Yeah.
we're talking about equal justice here, if we're talking about pursuing, the legal, pursuing justice in a legal, in a equal fashion, then how come there's such great disparity there? And no
Right.
one can answer that question. No one can answer that question, and it's weird. It's weird to me.
Well, and they
But
keep saying, "Oh, nobody's above the law. Nobody's above the law." Well, it sure looks like you guys are, because no one's talking about the
exactly.
Bidens, and Hunter gets this sweetheart deal, and
Hmm.
no one's indicted Joe Biden for the crimes that he committed, but they've indicted Donald Trump for the crimes that Joe Biden committed.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Very true. Very
yeah,
true.
it's quite
Chris,
hypocritical.
it is. It is. And just a few months back, before President Trump announced that he was going to run in this election in 24, President Joe Biden, with an asterisk, I always put an asterisk behind Joe Biden's name.
Yeah,
He says that he was at a G7 summit, and he told them that the United States is back, and there was some back and forth conversation about for how long and everything else. And the question was posed to him that what if President Trump was to run again? And his reply was that they was going to utilize the Constitution to stop him from running. And
yeah,
we're seeing that come to fruition here. We're seeing that they're utilizing the Department of Defense, they're utilizing you know constitutional laws and what have you to try to charge the president under different things that frankly he has nothing to do with. You can't control how people respond or act in the streets just because they're wearing a Trump hat or wearing, saying that they're a MAGA supporter or what have you. You can't
right.
charge the head guy for their actions. So I want to get your thoughts on as to like how is the president responding and acting acting towards all of this right now in light
I
of
mean,
that.
he's taking it in stride. He doesn't like it, but it makes him more resolved to
Yeah.
save our country. He's in this because he loves America. He loves what this nation stands for. He wants to save our country and take us back to our roots, take us back to what we were founded to be, a free nation. And yeah, I mean, the more that this happens to him, I think the more it just convinces him that he's doing the right thing by taking on
Yes.
this deep state, taking on this establishment and rooting it out. He says it all the time, and he says it best when he says, "They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way."
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
he's
true.
right. The political class is trying to destroy life in America.
That's very true. Very very true there. And he nailed it on the head. And as his vigor grows, the polls grow. As the indictments
Yep.
come, the poll numbers are still growing. And it's I think the establishment will come to a head here in the next few months. They're gonna have no choice but to say, okay, we have to take the focus off of Trump and focus on the Bidens because this is not helping our cause. Let's just let time play out, and hopefully it will come into our favor. Which at this juncture, it looks like it's not going to come into the establishment's favor, and that President Trump may actually win the nomination again. And I want to
Oh, he's going to win. The nomination is his. I don't think
yes,
anybody even
I
questions that. No
I
matter what
think so.
happens with any of these cases, the nomination is his.
Yes,
Uh,
I think so as
so
well.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yes, I do too, and it's sad to see that the media is just like in total meltdown behind it.
Yeah.
My co-host, my fellow anchors here on this network, we call each other and we laugh about what's going on in the mainstream media. It's pretty hilarious. But
Yep.
tell us about your new book, "Stealing Your Vote: Inside the 2020 Election," and what it means for 2024. What was the motivation behind this book?
Well, I was an investigative reporter at the time covering the 2020 election. I was at the White House on election night, and that was when I started the story and carried it through all the way until I started working for President Trump. But
Mm,
so I basically, I was, as a reporter, you get about five. If you're lucky, you'll get 7 minutes to talk about what you're finding. And that just wasn't enough with all of the information and the people that I was interviewing. I spent months on the ground in Arizona, Wisconsin,
yeah.
Michigan, all over the place. And was talking to city clerks, county workers, county officials, volunteers, election workers, members of the assembly, members of House or Senate. And I was talking to all of them and getting all of this information. And just the few minutes that I would get to report on the news just was not enough to explain explain the stories that I was hearing and explain what I was seeing on the ground. So I just started writing it down, not necessarily intending to write a book, but I was just kind of keeping notes of everything. And then I joke that I accidentally wrote a book because I had so much information that I thought the American people needed to see that I just wasn't able to really get out as a reporter. So that's how the book came about. But I hope the book, it will anger the reader, but I hope it also empowers you to educate you on what actually happened, what went down, where are the problem areas in a variety of states. I go through, I think, a dozen different states.
Okay.
And what can you do to get involved? Because the key to all of this, the key to saving the 2024 election is Americans have to get
Get
involved.
involved.
There's not going to
Yes.
be a savior from on high as far as, like a federal official or, the governor. There's no big official that's going to top down clean up our elections. The elections get cleaned up from the
Mm-hmm.
bottom up, and they've got to be cleaned up at the precinct, and they've got to be cleaned up at the county level. And if we do that, we will have a clean enough 2024 election.
You're absolutely right about that, Christine. You just nailed something on the head there about being involved in and for the American people to be involved in 2024. And here in Travis County, Texas, where I'm at, down in Austin, the I'm working with the Travis County folks here, and the biggest challenge right now that we're facing is the voter rolls. It's a mess,
Yeah.
and they added like 33,000 more voters that are unverified.
Yeah, I
The-
would imagine it's even higher than that. Probably
yeah,
33
I'm
actually
sure it
sounds
is.
low for Texas.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Or
That
maybe
was
that's
just
just
like,
Travis County. You mean that's just
yeah,
your county?
yes, that was just my county, but there was more. We
Yeah,
know
okay,
there's
that makes sense.
more. We know that there's
Yeah.
more because that was just like the data dump that happened the day after, the old
Yeah.
one was released. So we know it's a mess, and I would encourage, just like you're just saying, I encourage the American people to get involved now, get involved early, get educated on your local voting systems and how it works and everything else, because it does vary like county to county. There's like little intricacy differences here and there. So get involved, absolutely. And I want to ask you,
You're right.
in your book, you're detailing what happened in 2020 and all the different places you went to, and you discuss the different things that happened because there was a
Yeah.
myriad of different things that happened. So what was, in your opinion, and to you, what was the biggest thing that stood out as far as what went down in the 2020 election?
Yeah, well, the way I like to summarize it is Democrats cheated and Republicans covered it up. I
Yeah,
thought that I was going to write a book
I
exposing the corruption of Democrats, and I accidentally wrote a book exposing the corruption of Republicans.
yeah.
Um, so, yeah, the conclusion I thought that I was going to come to is not what I actually came to. But the good news, that's frustrating and it's infuriating
Mm-hmm.
as a conservative going, oh man, these Republicans aren't doing their job. They're not doing this right. That's actually really good news for us in this whole story because we can fix the Republican problem, right? We can clean up our own side of the aisle. And
True.
if we clean up our own side of the aisle, I think it will be enough, at least for this next election, to get us where we need to be. And it'll probably take a few election cycles to clean this out, but we can do it. And I think
Mm-hmm.
cleaning up the conservative side of the aisle is where we need to start. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, a lot of people have already started doing that. But yeah, I think we can make a lot of progress in securing our elections just by getting rid of these really, really terrible Republicans.
Yes, and not only the terrible Republicans, but those that are just so complacent and
Yeah,
complicit into
yeah,
the way things are done. Well, it's always been done that way. I hear that so much, and it like pisses me off. I'm like, I don't care about what it has always been done. Is it the right thing to do? Is it the legal thing to do? Just
yeah,
because you've always done so, you probably don't even know where to find what it is that you're doing in your manual because it doesn't exist. So they just like get out. It's like, I can't stand them. But anyways, Christine, turn it over to you for final thoughts. Anything you'd like to share?
Thank you so much for doing what you're doing, for using your voice. If your
Absolutely.
listeners are in Texas, I do cover a little bit of Texas in the book, so please check that out. But
Awesome.
whatever you do, get involved, continue to use your voice, continue to volunteer and be a part of your community. If you really just don't want to be involved in elections, get involved somewhere because it's the
Hmm.
American people that make America great, and it's the American people that will make America great again.
You're absolutely right, and thank you so much for that. Tell us where we can find you, follow you, and support you.
Sure. I've got a website, ChristinaBobb.com. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Christina_Bobb. Truth, just Christina Bobb. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Christina. Again, I truly appreciate you coming on and spending some time with me and giving us an update as to what's going on with the president, and also introducing us to your new book. I look forward to checking it out personally, and I hope everyone
Yeah, thank
else
you so
out
much. I
there.
appreciate the time.
Yes, absolutely. You take care. God bless. Be safe.
You as well.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was President Trump's attorney, Christina Bobb, joining us today, discussing her new book, the Stealing Your Vote, and, inside the story of the 2020 election and what it means for 2024. I encourage you all to get this book because, the one thing that we talk about, about 2020 is, we can't relitigate what happened in 2020. We need to just move on. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't be a more proponent of moving on for 2020 because we can't go back and change anything at the end of the day. It's now 2023. We're heading to 2024 right now. So I get it. But in order to in order to move forward and not repeat the past, you have to be able to identify what happened, what went wrong, so those things don't come up again in 2024. So this is why I tell those on the left, it's not that we're relitigating or we're trying to revisit 2020. No, it's we're identifying what the hell happened because it shouldn't have happened, and we all can recognize. We all can, if we just take the time to say and be honest with ourselves here that data dumps happening at 2 o'clock in the morning, polls shutting down, stopping counting in the middle of the polls still being open and saying, "Oh, we're tired. We're just gonna pick this up tomorrow." We know that all these things that happen just don't happen. So we have to revisit these things. We have to break it down and say, okay, what the hell went down so it doesn't happen again, and establish new laws, protocols, and everything else to ensure that there is a free and fair election in 2024 and beyond. Now, it's one thing, we can talk about voter fraud and everything else. And ladies and gentlemen, you already know this is one thing that I always said. Election, voter fraud anywhere is a threat to election integrity everywhere. I've always said that. So when you sit here and you say that, it wasn't enough voter fraud going on to determine the outcome of the election. Yeah, no. That's the problem. We're sitting here condoning, we're being complicit in the fact that there are people cheating, breaking laws, and what have you, and tampering with the integrity of the overall election process. It should be, well, we are catching these people. We're not allowing, we're not condoning, any kind of nefarious activities with our election process because we don't want the integrity of our election questioned, not even by one person who did something wrong. That should be the mindset we go into 2024 with. It's not it's not enough fraud. No, it should be, there was zero fraud. That's the mindset that we need to adopt. That's the mindset that we need to have. That's the mindset, that's actually the practice that we need to aim for. Is the simple fact of, hey, we're going to identify any kind of nefarious activities. We're going to identify, illegal voters and what have you, and we're going to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. Don't care if they're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, or a Martian. Period. And that's the way it should be. But when you have complicity in the ranks, it becomes a problem. Like I said, voter fraud anywhere is a threat to election integrity everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, everywhere. Somebody is being disenfranchised when there's cheating going on, when there's nefarious activities going on. Someone is being disenfranchised somewhere along the lines, whether you realize that or not, whether you believe that or not, whether that is interstate or intrastate. So, and then, we're looking at, President Trump and what he's going through right now. with the not only the media, but we also have establishment uniparty system. We have trumped up charges, no pun intended there. We have um, rogue DAs. We have corrupt special counsels. We have a misled grand juries, all in the name of going after one person. And you have to ask yourself, as the American people, you have to ask yourself, why, why him? Why now? Did it really? Does it really take 3 years to come up with indictments? Why is Georgia sitting here saying that they're going to wait? Back a few months ago, they said we're going to wait until July, August before we announce what we're going to do. Why? You trying to follow suit to see how the other DAs and how the special counsels are going to play out? Is that what you're doing? You're waiting to see what will come to fruition before you act and to jump onto the pile or to back off? Is that what you're doing, Georgia? Hmm, interesting. These are the things that are going on in our country right now, ladies and gentlemen. You have to ask yourself. No, don't even ask yourself. You have to ask the question. Ask the right questions. That was the reason why Carlson got fired. We talked about that last week. It wasn't the fact that of him asking questions or talking about things. He talked about the right things and he asked the right questions. And when you do those kind of things, you unveil, you reveal, or unveil a lot of things, and that's where we at today in society. We have the right people in the right places asking the right questions and revealing the right things for the American public to see, and these establishment elites who think that we're dumb are mad that we're exposing them for what they are, and they don't like it, and so they're retaliating. This is why President Biden wants to sell us off to the WHO, to the World Health Organization, and so they can dictate our health policies and how we respond to pandemics. This is why, you have members of Congress, doing insider trading, getting enriching themselves because they know that, hey, I can make a whole bunch of money and just quietly, sell off into the sunset and screw over my constituents by not sharing that information. You sons of. But anyways, these there's all kinds of things that's going on, and like I said last week, we talk about distractions and what have you. There's no such thing as a distraction. Either you can keep up or you can't. Like I said, you should be able to process multiple layers of information, multiple different things going on in different parts of the world, all at the same time. You may not get down to the granular details of it. You may not be able to, have finite understanding of what's going on, but at least expose yourself to the information, expose what's going on, get the surface level of it, and move on. Okay, if it isn't your forte to go down a rabbit hole on something, they're fine. That's your thing. You can do that. But let's get away from the idea that things are a distraction. Or we're getting distracted for something. They want us to see this and that. No, it's like, okay, this news outlet or these people are talking about this. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see what these other folks are talking about, or these other channels and everything else. If you get hung up into that one news station or that one silo of information that you get, that's where you get distracted. If you break that cycle, you'll be doing just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump to a commercial break here. Keep it locked right here. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.tecntv.com.
Mammoth Nation is the discount club for conservatives. You get great discounts on name brand products and services, and the proceeds help candidates who support the right causes. Plus, the money you save from just one purchase can pay for your entire membership. Liberal Democrats are destroying America, and we can't let Joe Biden be president. It's time to join the fight. Strength in numbers. We give the silent majority a resounding voice. Go to MammothNation.com and let's win this fight together.
There's a saying that war is hell. My war was losing my brothers to the enemy.
So Thomas, what brings you in today?
I'm missing my brothers, Doc. They were the only family I had.
What if I told you you're not alone, Thomas? I know this is gonna come off cheesy, but what if I said there's a website where you can go to, you fill out this form, and you wait.
It's a fight club.
It's not a fight club. It's a brotherhood.
So, what exactly do you guys do around here?
Well, Thomas, technically on paper, what we do at Tactical Brotherhood is support America. We are on the front lines, supporting Americans. We are determined to find something worth being proud of in each and every aspect of our military, starting with the men and women who serve this great country. Our mission is to unite like-minded individuals, such as yourself, to come together and find something worth celebrating in America. That's what it says on our website. So are you in or out, Thomas?
I'm in.
Welcome aboard, brother.
You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.tecntv.com. Hey, welcome back. So, get her book. I had a brain fart for a second there. Pick up Stealing Your Vote inside the inside story. Excuse me, the 2020 election and what it means for 2024 by Christina Bobb, and the introduction is written by Steve Bannon. So this is definitely probably going to be a very, very excellent book to check out, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, if you're wondering what you can do to get involved, get involved. Start at your local county, your district level, your county, and say, hey, I want to get involved. I want to help. What can I do? I don't have any experience. I never worked a poll a day in my life. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm willing to learn and help so we can stop any kind of stupid activities or fraudulent activities in this next election. So, what do I do? And then there's online resources, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you can check out your state, state level Department of Secretary of State, Secretary of State websites there in your state at your state level, and look at there's online classes for working polls, be a poll watcher, stuff like that. So there's information out there. You just have to be willing and to take the time to do the research and figure it out and go from there. So I'm not going to beat you to death about how to get involved in in elections and stuff like that. So, but anywho, Miss Christina Bobb, she laid out some very, very interesting things that's going on with these cases. The venues being selected as they were in Washington D.C. as we all saw here in the news just the other day, where the Judge Cannon down in Florida is asking the DOJ and Jack Smith as to why they're utilizing out-of-state grand juries to probe this case. So I see that there may end up being a toss out of these charges, because if you peel back the onion on that very question, if you peel back that onion, she is basically saying you're utilizing a jury pool to bring charges that we, down here can't, see who these people are, whatever, if they even exist, for that matter. This could be some, flunkies looking to get a job at the DOJ, and they're sitting in a lunchroom somewhere being the grand jury. Like, come on, like seriously, are we really doing this right now? So I can see that probe going somewhere. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it is what it is. But I would say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic week and be safe. I don't know what I have coming up on Friday, if I will even be here Friday. I know I got some things on my calendar I got to take care of, so, but we'll see. I might be able to come on and spend some time with you all, but if not, it's okay. It's not that I don't love you. I love you very much, and I thank you all for tuning in. And please, 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 if you have not been able to yet, this is a reminder that I do have a Substack now, rperm on Substack, RPYHAM on Substack. You can check that, download the podcast version of this, because a lot of people say that they don't have the time to watch a video from start to finish and what have you, and they end up missing information. So I'm trying to format my language as a podcast that you're listening versus watching. So you can go to Substack, to my Substack at rperm, and download these shows from now on. And also you can go to mammothNation.com/#rperm and use the rperm for US, excuse me, and you can use the promo code rperm and get your 30% off on your sign up fee and join Mammoth Nation so you can shop, local unwoke conservative companies and for the different things that you enjoy. So and it's right here up on the screen right now as well for those that are watching or able to watch. It is mammothNation.com/#rperm for US, promo code rperm. And I will jump out of here right now, but before I go, don't forget to sign up and join Wimpkin Social, Wimpkin.com, and create your account there if you enjoy free speech and being able to interact and engage with others, whether like-minded or opposite-minded, and don't have to worry about censorship. And the proceeds from this website, if you advertise on there and what have you, it's 20% of that profits is donated to causes fighting child trafficking. So once again, Wimpkin.com. That is WIMKIN.com. All right, seriously, I'm out of here, folks. Be safe. Have a great week, and I will talk to you all perhaps Friday. We'll see. Take care. God bless.
I put my armor on, I'll show you that I'm unstoppable. I'm a version with no brakes. I'm invincible. Yeah, I win every single game. I'm so powerful. I don't need batteries today. I'm so confident. Yeah, I'm unstoppable today.
You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.tecntv.com.